when you're talking about the process, okay, now you have the process. So you know you're in a process. And in that process, you know you're going to be in the wilderness. I feel like something's huge. One thing that's very huge that I'm learning, to be able to allow God to help direct you out of the wilderness to get to that next phase or level in life, is that transition from old to new. That is so huge. This is a perfect scripture that I found about why the old cannot go with the new. This is Mark chapter 2, verse 21 and 22. This is Jesus talking, and it says, "No man also seweth a piece of new cloth on an old garment, else the new piece that filled it up taketh away from the old, and the rent is made worse. And no man putteth new wine into old bottles, else the new wine doth burst the bottles, and the wine is spilled, and the bottles will be marred. But new wine must be put into new bottles." I feel like that is a perfect scripture, because you can't put new wine into old bottles or it'll burst. And you can't, if you have a new wine, it must go into a new bottle. So for someone like me, I always thought the old me could come into this new phase of life. And that's why I feel like the process and the wilderness comes into place. If you're stuck, or I realized I was going in circles because I always brought my old mentality, my old ways, my old thoughts, my old, like everything, my old habits into newness. I was trying to transition into this new phase of life, but I wasn't willing to change from my old past self. You can't, it doesn't work that way. If you're trying to find something new, find something better, or transition in life, you're gonna have to let something go. You're gonna have to change and become something new, so that what you're going for, what you desire, what God has for you, you can obtain and receive. And that's where I feel like the wilderness comes in, because in that wilderness, that's where you start shedding off that old self, coming into and putting on that new skin, that new self, so that once you obtain that, once you receive that, God can now direct you, even though He's already directing you in that, but now He can show you the way out. And when you go the way out now, and you really have cut ties or let go of those, your old self, and invited in the new, you can be able to embrace what comes next, what comes after, what comes once you make it out of the wilderness and you are able to receive what He has for you. Now that's where your new skin can be a part of the newness, the new life, the new journey, or everything that He has for you. I felt like that's so huge. What it, like, in this process, in being in the wilderness, that's such a huge thing that I realized, like, you have to do. Like, that's something you really have to understand and do, because when you're in the wilderness, it's mainly because God is trying to change something within you. He's trying to help you let go of something, help you rearrange your mindset, walk in a different way, act a different way, think a different way, speak a different way. If He's trying to take you somewhere, and He takes you to the wilderness, He's like, okay, yeah, I have something for you. I have a lot for you. But who you were before won't be able to handle this. But who I want to transition you into, who I want to change you into, will be able to handle it. Not just handle it, but be able to receive it, give it, and share it with as many people as I desire for you to share it and give it to. But your old self can't do that. Until you actually understand that and realize the old must go, your old self, and you're in the wilderness, you must let go of that. You will start to realize what those things are, what those things God is trying to help you change and get rid of. And once you do, it takes time. That's where the process comes in, because it doesn't work overnight. It takes time, it takes habit, it takes consistency to really change those habits, to really start working out and walking in the newness. And then once you can walk in that so confidently, that's when God's like, okay, I got you. See, now I see you're walking in it. Now I see your heart. Because now once your actions start to follow, oh, your heart will get in line, your mind will get in line. That's when God's like, okay, I can use that. I can use you now. I can now lead you to what's next, because I know that you're putting in the work. You're taking the actions to receive what I have for you. Instead of you just holding on to these things, you're letting go. You're trusting in me, and you're allowing me to take you where I want to take you. I feel that's so huge when you're even talking about a process or a wilderness. Transitioning from your old to your new self is something you have to work on. something you have to consider, something you have to really go to God for and do a self-reflection and understand, okay, what is it that I can't take with me? Who is it that I can't take with me? You know, what mindset, what words, what ideas, what habits that I cannot take with me into this new phase of life because it's not going to help me. It's not going to be my benefit but my detriment. So what are those things? And that's what you find out in the wilderness. That's what you find out in your storms. And that's when you find those things and you work them out and you go to God for them, you give it to Him and He helps you, He builds you up, He strengthens you. That's when you can start walking more confidently, with boldness, with joy, with peace, with love, with everything He needs. And you can walk out that wilderness with a new self, with the new you. And you'll be so thankful for what He's done with you in your life. You realize that God is for you. He really is for you. He's for all of you. Remember, let go of the old self. The old you cannot go with you in this new phase of life. We have to let it go. You have to let whoever that was go and walk into your newness so He can use you in ways you never thought He could use you.